Tom Hanks gives a compelling critique of superhero movies, as this is from Comic Book Movie and Josh Wilding. Superhero movies frequently receive hate from Hollywood veterans. Look no further than comments from the likes of Martin Scorsese and Francis Ford Coppola for proof of that. Now, while the genre remains incredibly successful, it's been a trying few years. Marvel Studios delivered its first rotten movies and a few box office bombs. The less said about the DCEU's dying days, the better, and when it comes to Sony, well, Sony gonna Sony. Today, screen icon Tom Hanks has shared his take on the rise and recent struggles of comic book movies. The Toy Story and Forrest Gump star argues that the familiarity of these characters means they no longer make us feel the way they once did. As a result, audiences now demand more from the genre and want stronger stories to go with all the flashy action scenes. The thing is, it's actually meeting up right with the state of the art. Never mind the commerce. The state of the industry right now. The great thing that happened was, remembering in the 1970s and 80s, they tried to do TV versions of Captain America and Spider-Man and even Batman, the Adam West Batman. The technology did not exist to make it look like it did in the comic books. And now it does. You can do anything at all. You could probably say the Christopher Reeve Superman was the first one that came close because the cutting edge of the technology right there allowed for wire removal. You will believe a man can fly. And you know what? We all did when we saw. It was quite extraordinary. I think we are now enjoying the luxury of riches because you can make anything happen on screen. We're being brought back to the concept. Okay, that's true, but what is the story? Without a doubt, I've used this analogy before, so I apologize. You can drain Lake Michigan and fill it with cuckoo clocks and form a three-headed dragon that breathes fire and destroys the city of Chicago. You can do that, but to what purpose is it at the end of the day? What's the story, and what's it going to say about us? I think there was a period of time, and I felt that way too, where we would see these fantastic movies, either DC or MCU, in order to see these better versions of ourselves. God, I feel like an X-Man sometimes. I'm so confused as Spider-Man. I'm as angry as Batman is, and I love my country as much as Captain America. I would love to emulate all those guys. I think we've been down that road and had probably 20 years, 15 years to explore that kind of thing, and now I think we're in an evolutionary place of, and the story is what? And the theme is what? And the point of this movie is what? That's a good challenge for any filmmaker. It might just not land in the roadhouse for the industry. The industry often says, well, this works and it will work again. The audience is far ahead of it. They see the familiar and say, I've already seen that. What's next? It's not just eye-popping stuff. It's what's the story? Tell me about myself. We're in new territory. It's hard to argue with this assessment, and that new territory is something we're seeing Marvel Studios attempt to explore with the likes of Fantastic Four: First Steps and Agatha All Along. Venom, for example, was a hit in 2018 because it delivered something new. A madcap buddy comedy with Tom Hardy getting used to sharing his body with an alien. 2 movies later, interest in the franchise has dipped because fans and moviegoers alike want more. Hanks was also asked whether he met with Kevin Feige or James Gunn. No, I think it's because I'm not in their wheelhouse. I'm not against it, I guess, but at the same time, I will tell you this right now. My combo plate is quite full. I've got a lot of stuff I'm dreaming of and trying to make happen. Okay. Look, again, kind of what I was alluding at in the last segment about Quincy and this idea that art being too commodified, like you said, oh, the industry goes, this works, it'll work again, keep doing that. If your music doesn't evolve, if your movies don't evolve, if your TV doesn't evolve, if it doesn't grow, there's no reason for us to keep coming back, because I've already seen you do perfectly this thing. I'll go rewatch that thing that I know already works and I have fun with. But if you are not pushing me forward, the whole idea, if you are standing still, you are actually moving backwards. And that's the thing. You cannot give the same formulaic thing over and over and over again. You have to elevate. So like the reason Abbott works, even though it takes a similar formula of The Office with the idea of the mockumentary, it's because you put it in a new scenario and you gave us new stories, not just new characters, but new stories that genuinely work and that people want to explore. So the idea of still, like, the romance isn't going to go away because it's a different couple and how they interact with each other, but the idea of how teachers have to deal with everything from, like, that desking episode, so kids getting out of control, to outbreaks like ringworms, to, chaperoning dances, to, like, the dare situation. That's all unique to that scenario. That's a new story and a new way to explore controversy and things like that, versus the flip side, where you look at, The Office. The Office worked because it was like, oh, There's the drama between people having affairs, or the holiday party, or diversity training, or mergers. We're exploring all those different stories with those characters. I don't necessarily know if I feel the idea of an Office reboot, because I'm like, well, you're going to redo all of this stuff, and with people that probably they're going to do their best, and I'm not going to take anything away from them. Maybe they're better, but odds are they're not going to hit the same way that it happened the first time. You cannot give the same, if you want to have a base foundation, that is okay. So to say we're taking a mockumentary style, to say we're taking a superhero style, to say we're taking a noir style, whatever, that's all well and good. But you have to take that as your starting point, your foundation. You need to make something new. If we just had a whole bunch of the same Mona Lisas over and over again, nobody would give a shit about paintings, because we've seen it before. That's how humans work. We're into something new. If you keep giving us the exact same thing, then we're kind of be off it. And that really is where a lot of the movie industry and the music industry is today, is we have to find a way to continue to evolve. But with that being said, what do you think with Tom Hanks' comments? Would you like to see him in a superhero film, MCU or DCU or anything like that? Let me know. But let me know what you think in the comments.